guys, welcome back to my channel. This is a video of the continuation of the understanding PID and tuning. As you can see in my part 2 video, I experimented with different PIDs numbers and I've used the X quad and you can see that any of the PIDs numbers that I used, I was able to fly the quad well without any problem. That's because I was just flying normally, just flying backward, forwards, yawing, making turns. I wasn't doing flips and loops. So I'm going to come back to that later about flips and loops. But I just want to go further in exploring the PIDs and why that you can fly any quad with standard PIDs without any problem. So first thing I just want to remind you is that don't try to reinvent the wheel when somebody has already invented the wheel. So which means that you just need to use the standard PIDs of a standard quad and you should be able to fly your quad properly and with no problems if you just fly casually and normally. Okay, let's go into a bit deeper. If you remember, I have this Eachine QX90 and in my earlier videos I couldn't fly this QX90 quad properly because of the fundamental defects in the design of the frame and also the props. I was able to prove that by putting the entire flight control board and the motors to the KingKong Smart 100 frame. So with the same PIDs, I was able to fly this with no problem. And this one, sometimes it couldn't lift off and it was draining the battery very quickly. So this just proves that with a fundamental bad frame design and the props, you will never be able to fly the quad properly because there will always be uneven flight characteristic because of the bad propulsion and due to the bad quad design. So what I'm trying to say is that PIDs is not used to compensate for bad design and props. PID works for any well-built quad which is well balanced with a very good center of gravity. For example, the X frame here. So as I mentioned earlier, I could use any PIDs to fly this frame, no problem. Same with this frame. This is a well balanced quad. I'm pretty sure if I put any PIDs in there, if I just fly casually and normally, I shouldn't have any problems in using PIDs of any quad and flying this one with those PIDs. So a well-built quad is a quad that has is well put together and it has a very good center of gravity and the props and the motors are strong enough to lift the quad. Because the flight control board is pre-programmed to turn the propellers in a certain way, when you have to turn, you're going to pitch forward roll. So the fundamental characteristic of the quad is there. If you have a very bad design with a lot of vibration and the motor's propulsion are not doing its job properly, definitely the flight control board controlling the motors will have a problem, because then the motors will not be spinning at the same rate or at the rate that it's pre-programmed to do. So you're going to have a lot of vibration and oscillation, which you could never tune it out using the PIDs. I'll give you an example. I saw a video where the Eachine Chasers 88 was being reviewed, and it was said that out of the box it was unflyable because there was a lot of vibration. And if you know about Chasers 88, it's a micro brushless quad with a similar like this, but with a aluminum frame on top of this 4-leaf clover 4-leaf clover antenna, and it created a lot of imbalance. And also I think that the motors and the propellers are not good for that particular quad, so that's why it was vibrating a lot, and when it was doing flips and rolls it couldn't recover quite quickly enough. So it was tuned with the PID to 120/45 for the pitch, roll 120/45, yaw 120. You can definitely see a problem with those numbers because 100 is definitely too much. According to one of the articles that I have in the link, if you want to fly aerobatics, you can put P to a high level, and if you want smooth flight, you move D higher, and I is really to make minor adjustment to the P to make sure that it stays on course. So those numbers are very unusual because those numbers were trying to tune a very bad design quad. So it would never be able to tune out in the quad to a normal flight. So a well-balanced quad will fly with any standard PIDs, but a bad design quad will never be able to fly with any PIDs, no matter how you change the numbers. So when you're building your quad, make sure that you make them so that they are well balanced and all the screws are tightly screwing so that you will minimize vibration. And also I understand that there's soft mounting for the motors, and that's fine if you want to soft mount that in order to reduce vibration. So if you can build a quad that is well balanced, minimize vibration, it's not a problem for you to put any PIDs on that if you just fly casually. Don't change the PIDs for the sake of changing it because other people on YouTube are changing them because they say that they're not able to fly the quad according to their style. So that's true, provided the quad is well balanced and has a good center of gravity and well built. So let me give you an example. There are some videos on YouTube about, I think it was Eachine Chasers 88 also. One was Eachine Chaser 88, and it was flown by the person, and he said that the PIDs were not good enough. Then he tuned the PIDs according to him, optimized, and the other one is professionally tuned. And I could see that when the PIDs number were used and taken from another person's PIDs, the person using the new PIDs was able to fly with loops and flips, but then he started crashing into the ground because it wasn't for him. If the PIDs wasn't suited for his flying style. The other videos that I saw was the Holybro Shuriken 180, and when the person was flying the stock, I could see that he was flying quite alright, but when he used another person's PIDs, again the flips and rolls were fine, but I could see that he was flying with a lot of twitchiness, and eventually he crashed into a tree. So the point is, PIDs are used to tune for a pilot's particular flying style, and not to make the quad lift off and fly normally. Let me try to explain this with the quad here. When you fly normally, you just pitch, you roll, and then you yaw, and then it's easy for you to recover by just pulling back, pulling to the opposite direction. And there isn't much in there for the PIDs because you're only making slight movements. So whatever P's that you have in there will not activate I or D because it's only slightly making adjustment. When you fly aircraft, you don't really need a lot of adjustment to fly forward, backwards. So it doesn't really affect much if you fly just normally. So that's why you can see that I was able to fly this quad with different PIDs with no problem. However, again, I just want to emphasize that provided your quad is well built and well balanced, and if you start to fly like aerobatics, you fly, left, right, turning, upside down, yawing, pitching, rolling, you put all the sticks movement at the same time, that's when the PIDs come in. That's when the flying style come in. So you may be using roll more or pitch more, or whichever one that you use, or you use three of them all together at the same time, or you at the same time in combination. That's when PIDs is very important because all the numbers have to work together to make sure that when you roll certain way and you try to recover, they recover at a certain pace and certain speed and at a certain dampening strength, so that you are able to control your quad properly. So the way that you fly is very different from person to person. So the tune itself will be very different from person to person because one person may fly flips and roll in a very smooth manner, and another person may be flying flips and rolls in a more aggressive manner. So different manner of flying will require different sets of numbers to make sure that they all work together so that you are able to do all those maneuvers while still maintaining control of the quad. So in conclusion, I just want to summarize that if you have a well-built quad, balanced quad, you can use any PIDs. You can fly it normally and casually, no problems with just slight turning, yawing. You just have to be aware of the RC rates, and the RC rates must not be too low, especially for yaw, because yaw is really the most important thing in controlling your quad. Pitch and roll, you can make it less aggressive, but other than that, it should be set around 0.6, 70 to 60 to 70, or 0.6 to 0.7. But if you fly your quad aerobatic styles, freestyle, doing a lot of loops and flips, you have to tune your quad according to your flying style. So the way to do it is to fly a lot. Don't do the tuning straight away. Fly until you get comfortable with your normal flying and start to do flips and roll. And I'm pretty sure that when you start doing it, your flips and roll will not be as aggressive as those freestylers, YouTubers flying on their channels. So you'll be using a less aggressive numbers. As you progress through your piloting skills, your numbers will have to change. There will never be one set of numbers for your style, because you will change in time. So between the minimum and the maximum PIDs, that is between the floatiness and oscillation, any numbers in between will be suitable if you tune it according to your style of flying, and it really becomes very subjective. There's really no one set of numbers for a person. That sets of numbers will change over time. And just remember, PIDs are not used to compensate for bad design and bad propellers. So if you build any quad and it starts vibrating very unusually, strangely, as long as you start hovering with the standard PIDs, then you have a problem with your design, with your build. So you need to make sure that you have proper motors, proper propellers, and check all those before you start changing the PIDs numbers. And lastly, PIDs are there for you to tune it according to your flying style, and any PIDs will be usable as a starting point, and you can change the numbers from there. So I've been cramming a lot of information in this video, so I hope you guys understand and maybe re-watch this video, and hope you guys like this video, and also like and subscribe to my channels for more videos. I'm going to leave you with another test that I did with my KingKong Q100 with different sets of numbers.